Hi, I'm Tom, and in this tutorial for FreeCAD BIM beginners, I will show you how to create this chair model that you can use in your projects. It's a simple geometry, but we will use several modeling techniques. And even though this tutorial is meant for FreeCAD BIM beginners, we will be using part workbench for the modeling. This workbench has several tools to create such a model. We could also use part design workbench to create such a chair, but because I want to have the chair created out of independent objects such as these four legs, this seat, and I want to have these lines visible, I will create it in the part workbench, because if I was using part design workbench, I would create the chair as just a one body, one object. Now, as this is a tutorial for complete beginners, we will not create the chair parametrically, so it will be just simple geometry that you cannot change by changing parameters. So let's get to the modeling. I will close this file and I will start an empty new file. So it's an empty new file and I have my part workbench activated. And I have a basic blueprint for the chair. So you can see that the seat width is 420 millimeters, the depth is 400. These are the heights, and the backrest is a little bit slanted like so. So I will begin with creating the chair legs. So back in FreeCAD, I will first start using primitive objects, and I will use the cube part box tool. So if I click on this icon, the cube is created, and the primitive objects are easy to create. They are parametric, so I can edit the basic shape. So I have to go to the model taskbar and here in the properties, and make sure that you have got the data properties turned on. I have got the length, width, and the height of the box. So I will set the length to be 50, width to be 52, and the height is the height of the leg, which is 420, and let's say I will make this thickness 50, so it will be 370. So I will set the height to 370, and if I zoom out, you can see that I have got my leg ready. Now I want to position the leg relative to the coordinate system, the global coordinate system, and frankly, I don't know how to show the coordinate system in the part workbench, so I will switch to BIM workbench and turn on the grid. I will toggle the grid on, and you can see that the 0.00 is at the left bottom corner of the cube that I created. So I want to move this cube so that I want to have the center of the coordinate system here. So I want to move the cube so the left part is half of this length, so 210 millimeters from this point. So to move objects, I can select the object, and if I right click, I have got two options, either transform or placement. I will choose the placement option, and this opens the placement task. And here is the translation, which is the position in the global coordinate system. So this axis is X. So I want to move it left 210 millimeters. So I will, in the X, the translation will be minus 210, and I will hit OK. Now I will switch back to part workbench, and I want to make another leg. So I will copy this cube. So I will hit Ctrl C and then Ctrl V, and the copy is placed at the same location as the original one. So again, I will use the placement tool, and now I want to move it this way 400, but the width of the leg is 50 millimeters, so only 350. So I will select the other cube in the project tree, right click here, and I have got the same options. So here I have got the placement, and this is the y-axis, and it's positive. This is the positive direction, so this will be 350 in the y-axis, and you can see that the x-axis is the same. So I've got my first two legs. Now if I look again from the top, I want to create these other two legs, and now I will use the mirror tool. So I don't have to copy them, and I will also show you a different tool. So I will select both of these cubes, and now I will use this mirror tool. And if I turn it on, it's important now to select the cubes are selected, and it's important to select the correct mirror plane. XY plane is the one that's basically the floor, and I want to mirror along this plane, which is YZ. So I will change the plane to YZ, and the base point I will leave at 0, 0, 0, because as I've told you, the origin is here, so this is the axis of the chair, so I don't have to move the base point. So I will click OK, and you can see that the other two legs are mirrored, and you can see that these objects are created. The mirrored object, which is this one, and the original is this one. I will come back to this structure a bit later. Now let me create the seat, and I could create it by creating another box object, but I will use a different technique. First I will sketch up the plan footprint, and then I will extrude it 50 centimeters, so that we will learn another technique. So I will look at the, I don't have to change, but I will look from the top, and to create the sketch that I will base my extrusion off of, I will use this create sketch tool. This is a very powerful tool in FreeCAD. So if I click create sketch, FreeCAD asks me how I want the sketch to be oriented, what is basically the footprint, what I'm looking at it from. So I want to use the XY plane, that's my floor plane, so I will hit OK. And now I'm automatically switched to the Sketcher workbench, which now I'm working only on the sketch, and I have got completely different tools available. So I want to create a rectangle footprint, so I will use this rectangle tool, and it works that I click one point and second point, and it creates 4 lines like so. So this is how it works. I will now delete these 4 lines, and I will create a new rectangle because I want to show you, I want to snap to this point, but the snapping is not working. If I want to use some external geometry, I have to actually import it into my sketch. And I import it by selecting this create external geometry. So I will click this tool. Now I want to click this vertex, so I will click here, and it imports the point, and then this vertex again, click here, and it imports this point. So I have imported these 2 points, and now if I click on the create rectangle, it will automatically snap to these points. Now, as we don't want to create the chair parametrically, I don't care about constraints and other stuff, but what I recommend you to do is to delete the imported geometry, because later we will be actually working with these chair legs, and it could break our sketch. So I will delete these 2 points. And now that the sketch is ready, Here in the task panel, I will just say close. And this created this sketch object. And in the 3D view, you can see that these are the lines that I created as a sketch. If I wanted to edit the sketch, I could just easily double click the sketch object, and now I'm back in the Sketcher workbench and I can edit what I created if I made a mistake. So it's very easy to edit sketches. Now the sketch is placed at the floor and I want to place it 420 millimeters at the seat height. So again, I will right click on the sketch and I will use the placement tool and I will change it in the Z. It will be 420 and I will hit OK. So I have moved the sketch up here. So now let's create an extrusion from this sketch. So to create an extrusion, we will use this Extrude tool. And here in the task panel, I will choose the length, which should be 50. But if I chose along, it would be in the positive normal axis, so it would be up. So I will change this along to 0 and against to 50. And what is important is to check the create solid option. So now if I hit OK, I have got this extrusion created and you can see that it's a solid, it's a nice seat. So the chair is moving along nicely. Now we want to create the backrest. First we will create these two parts and you can see that they are slanted. And they are slanted so that the bottom is 50 millimeters from the top. And we will create this object by creating sketch, which is located here at the bottom, and then another sketch, a profile, which is placed here, and it will be placed 50 millimeters to the back, and then we will link the sketches with a Loft tool, which will create a solid again. So first I want to create the first sketch and I want to be placed on the top of this plane. So I will select the face, and if I have the face selected and I start the sketch tool, it asks me whether I want to place the sketch on that face, and I will select OK. So now it will be placed on that face. So now here I will create the rectangle, and because I want to snap again to this point, I will choose to create external geometry. And if I have my mouse here, actually I want to be careful to have just the point imported. And now I can create a rectangle, and I will click here, and I can actually make the dimensions correct. So I will move my mouse here and type in 40, hit enter, and then type 40 and hit enter, and it's automatically constrained that the dimensions are 40 and 40. And what I also want to do, I want to get rid of the imported external geometry. So this point, I will select it here and delete. So this is the basic sketch. So that's nice. I will close it. And you can see that the sketch is placed here at the face that I originally chose. And I will actually rename the sketch, and I will name it backrest bottom. Okay, now I want to create a backrest top, so I will actually not select any face, and I will start the create sketch again, choose the XY plane, and now I will create the rectangle here in the space. So I will click here, type in 40, hit enter, type in 40, hit enter. So the dimensions are constrained. I will hit escape to exit the rectangle tool. Now I can move the rectangle, but I want to constrain the position relative to these axes. So I will have to create these constraint dimensions. So I will use this dimension tool. So I will fire it up and I will click this axis and this point. Now move my mouse here, click here, and I want this distance to be 210 millimeters. And then I want to click this axis and this point, click here, and I want this distance to be 50. So this is a constraint geometry, and you can see that this sketch is actually fully constrained. This is how all sketches should be. These that I created previously were not constrained like so. If I hit escape to exit the dimension tool, if you make mistakes, it's quite easy to change these dimensions. I just double click it and type in different distance. So it's then very easy to work with these constrained sketches. So now the footprint is created, so I will hit close. So I have this sketch and I will rename it, and I will actually name it backrest top. And as you can see, it's placed on the floor, and I want to have it at this height here. So it's 420 plus 500, that's 920 millimeters. So I will again right click here, choose the placement tool, and in Z it will be 920, and I will hit OK. So we have got these two sketches prepared to join them and create solid out of them. And we will use this tool, the Loft tool, to create the solid. So I will fire up the tool, and here I want to have profiles which I want to join. I've got just, this is very simple geometry, so these are the two profiles. So I will select this one, move it to right, this one, move it to right, and I want to create solid, because if I didn't check this, it will create faces. So I will create solid, hit OK, and you can see that we have got this Loft object created, and it consists of the top and bottom sketch. So this is again nice. This is what we want to have. Now we want to have it also on the other side. So I will select the Loft object and again use the mirror tool which we used previously. I want to select the correct mirror plane, so it's the YZ plane, and the location is the center of the chair, so it's the center of the coordinate system. So I will not mess with the base point, so I will hit OK, and we have got this mirrored Loft object. Now the last part of the chair is the connecting part of the backrest, and as you can see here, we want to have this profile that you can sit nicely, and it's profiled like so. So again, we will create a sketch which is profiled like this and extruded. So I will deselect everything and choose the create sketch tool, use the XY plane, hit OK. And now I want to use these two lines as a stopgaps for my arc, which will be created like this. So I will import this geometry. So again, I will use this tool, create external geometry, and I will select this edge and this edge, and I will select escape to end the tool. So I've got these two lines, and now I want to create this arc. So I will use the arc tool and I will choose the create arc by center. So first what I'm choosing is the center. So let me just click somewhere here, it doesn't matter, as a center. And then if I move my mouse here and click on this line, it constrains it to be coincidental. And if I move my mouse here and click on this line, it constrains it that it's coincidental with the line. So the arc is created. I will hit escape to end the arc command. But you can see that the center of the arc is not placed correctly. So I want to constrain this center to this axis. So I will fire up this tool, constrain coincident, and I will first select this point, and I want to constrain it to this axis. Now you can see I've got another constraint, and it's here. I will hit escape to exit the tool, and I can still move this center like so. So let's say I will move it here. Now I could also constrain the diameter, but this one is okay. So this is the basics, and I want to create an offset of this this line. So I will actually select it, and I will use this tool, move and array transform. I will create a array which has got only one copy. So let's start the tool, and let's make copies. One copy, rows, there's just one row. And now I will select this object to make array. And now if I move my mouse, you can see that I'm creating the copy. So in the distance, I will type in 15 millimeters, and I will hit tab. And in the angle, I will type in 90, and I will hit enter. And this makes the array like so, just two arcs. And now I want to delete these two lines, which are external geometry, so that I don't have problems with it again. And actually I want to join these two arcs here, because if the sketch is not closed, I could not create a solid out of it. So I will choose the create line and click on this point, and then this point. So I created two lines, so the sketch is closed. So now I can close creating of the sketch, and you can see that it's created like so. It's this sketch. So again, as previously, I will create an extrusion out of it. I want to make sure that it's creating a solid, and the height will be, let's say, 150, and I will hit OK. Yep, let's say that's okay. If I want to edit the extrusion height, here is I will select the extrusion, and in the data properties, I've got the length, so I could change it to 100 or 120, let's say. And now I want to move it up. So again, I will right click the extrusion, choose the placement, and in the Z direction, let's say 750. I want to make it a bit higher, 770. That looks okay. I will hit OK. And the last thing that I will do is I will align the backrest. So I will rotate it. And to rotate it, I have got it still selected, and I will right click, and I will choose the transform tool, which actually I can move the object with or rotate it. I've got rotation increment set to 5 degrees. So you can see this gizmo here, and I can rotate it around this axis, or this axis by clicking one of these dots. So I will select this dot, click and drag. And if I drag, you can see I'm rotating in increments of 5 degrees. So I will rotate it just by 5 degrees like so and hit OK. And the backrest is placed. It's not, exactly geometrically placed, but it's good enough for my model. So the chair geometry is created, but we have got still some work to do. This is because if I'm back in the BIM workbench and I would select these objects and I would want to move them, so I will use the move tool. You can see that it's broken up like so. This is because there are some relationship between these objects. So I will choose the undo tool and undo the move and redraw the project. So I will go back to the part workbench, and what we can do is select all of these objects. Again, I can choose Shift B and select all of them, and we want to create one object out of these. And the tool that can compound multiple objects into one is this compound object. So if I click this and I will choose the make compound, it creates a compound object, and inside of this object are those that were created previously by myself. So now actually I don't have to use Shift B to select the object. If I'm in the big BIM object, I don't have to choose the box selection. I can just select, let's say, this face, and it selects the whole compound. So now if I move the object, you can see that it's moving all along. I will again take a step back, one move. So this is the advantage of compounding the objects into the compound object. Now what I would recommend you to do before compounding it into one compound is to get rid of the mirrored objects, because sometimes they create a problem inside of the compound. So I will actually not get rid of them. If I select the compound and delete it, you can see that I'm not deleting the object, I'm deleting only the compound, and the original objects are still here. So now I got rid of the compound and I want to get rid of these mirror objects. And how do I do that? I will go to the BIM workbench and I will select just the mirror object. And you can see that inside of the mirror object is the cube object, and I will downgrade this cube, and I downgraded the mirrored object into the solid, and the original cube is here. So I will do the same with this one. I will downgrade it, and I will do the same with this mirror. I will downgrade it. So now I have got these simple solid. I also think that these are computationally more simple. I will do one more thing, and then in this Loft tool, I don't know why I'm not able to downgrade it, so I'll just hide these profile sketches. And now I can actually select all of these objects again and make a compound. I have the same tool in the BIM workbench, or I can go back to the part workbench and create a compound. And one last thing we will do is actually add a BIM information to this compound. So when it's in a BIM project, everyone knows that it's a chair. So I will go to the BIM project, the BIM workbench. I will select the compound, the chair, and now I will create a chair object out of it by using the Arch Equipment tool. So if I just click this tool, it creates equipment out of the compound, and in the compound is my geometry. So in my BIM project, I will work only with this equipment container. And this equipment container contains data, and for us what's important is its IFC class, which is by default set to furniture, IfcFurniture, which in this case is okay. And a predefined type is chair, which again in our case it's okay. And in the description I can type in wooden table chair, or just wooden chair, so it's like so. And this is the IFC label, so I will click here, hit F2 to rename, and I will name the label chair, or maybe in your it depends on your project. In your project I guess it will be like furniture 01, but so that we know what we are working with in FreeCAD, I will use the IFC label chair, but this one depends on your project. Now if you wanted to use your chair in your project, the simplest way is to select the chair, hit Ctrl C, so copy the chair. It opens up the copy. You have to copy all of the parts, and I will hit OK, so they are copied. And now if I open my recent project, so it's this simple floor plan. Here I will hit Ctrl V to paste, and the chair is pasted, and it's placed in the same place as in the original file, so at the beginning of the coordinate system. So now I can actually work with the chair. I've got it selected, so I can easily move it like so. I could rotate it or create copies or erase with the chair in my project like so. So this is it for the tutorial. We have created the basic geometry, we've joined it into one compound, and then we created a BIM object with BIM information, so it's clear in the project what this object is. If you want to download this chair for your exploration or use, you can download it from FCB Launch shop for free. The link is in the description box. If you like using FreeCAD, consider supporting the project by donating to it. The link to the donate page is in the description box below. I hope this was helpful, and I will see you in the next one.